What's cracklin', everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list, where each episode we take a cereal, put it on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host, Tucker. In this episode, we're going to be doing Cinnamon Toast Crunch Chocolate Churros. After the last few episodes just being plain wheat stuff, I figured we should try something a bit more exciting, I guess. So here we are, Cinnamon Toast Crunch Chocolate Churros. Now, as some of you may recall, we've done Chocolate Toast Crunch, which got a D, not quite as good as Cinnamon Toast Crunch, which is sitting at a C. And we also have done Cinnamon Toast Crunch Churros, which was an E. And I think one of the main things I remember about that is the pieces were very awkwardly sized. So that didn't work out great for it. And again, not as strong as just Cinnamon Toast Crunch. So hopefully this isn't just the bad parts of both Chocolate Toast Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch Churros, and instead is a powerful fusion. But honestly, it could go either way. Let's just open it up and find out. See what we got. Okay. Okay. Looks like they might be a bit smaller than the original churros, so that's good. Kind of smells how I remember it. Maybe they're closer in size than I originally thought. Got that cinnamon feel. Okay. That seems vaguely promising. All right. So, just looks the same as churros, Cinnamon Toast Crunch churros, but chocolate. So, there you have it. And again, I think this happened with Chocolate Toast Crunch as well, but you can kind of see some parts more chocolatey than others, depending on how they got covered. So, all right. Okay, it's not bad. Not the most exciting chocolate, but I think the bit of cinnamon in there does help it a bit. So, yeah, okay. So far, I've had multiple bites where I think the cinnamon aspect is stronger than the chocolate aspect. Like the chocolate just kind of seems like a second thought almost. And again, not like a top tier chocolate flavor. It's just kind of whatever. But I don't know, I think this is a bit better than I remember the plain churros being, at least. A little bit more foggy on the chocolate toast crunch, but it seems like a decent combination at the moment. Okay, after saying that, the next two bites I took were both pretty chocolatey, so I guess it's just kind of a luck of the draw what you're gonna get in your spoon. So I guess ignore that point, I guess. The churro pieces are thicker than the normal just Cinnamon Toast Crunch sort of flat pieces. So they start off with a lot more crunch, and seems a bit more fitting to have crunch in the title here than it does for normal Cinnamon Toast Crunch. That also means as it's sort of sagifying, it's not as instant just mush. So that's kind of nice. In that aspect, I think these pieces do work a bit better than normal Cinnamon Toast Crunch. There's still, it's on the edge of being too large, but I think I am right, and this is a little smaller than the original churros were. So I appreciated them cutting that back a bit. Now we've got some fairly chocolatey milk here with a lot of specks in there of cinnamon and, I'm assuming, still unmixed in chocolate powder. So let's see what kind of taste this is going to have. That's pretty good, actually. Kind of into that. It seems like a bit more evenly mixed of cinnamon and chocolate than the pieces. Yeah, that's actually kind of good. I'm a fan of that. Worked out pretty well this time. This did manage to not just be the worst parts of Chocolate Toast Crunch and Cinnamon Toast Crunch churros, so nothing else, applause for that. So comparing this to the rest of the Toast Crunch family, I don't think it's the strongest for me. I think I'd still put French Toast Crunch as my number one, but again, I think this actually works better than the normal churros, though I'm still not sure if I'm misremembering the size right. Maybe these are kind of similar, but either way, they seemed more manageable when I was eating them, so I guess even if they're not actually, they gave off the impression that they're somewhat normal size for cereal. So that worked out for them. And I think I do like this more than the Chocolate Toast Crunch, because I remember thinking that one was okay, but not really a great chocolate. And again, the chocolate not necessarily the best in here and not necessarily always the most present, but I think whatever difference they do with the cinnamon, or maybe it's just because of the different piece, I think the cinnamon and chocolate worked a bit better here than it did for the Chocolate Toast Crunch. Yeah, that's what it's called. I get confused sometimes because I don't know where to put the Toast Crunch part. Anyways, but yeah, I think this is kind of the middle of the pack for me in the Toast Crunch world. So what I'm going to do is give Cinnamon Toast Crunch Chocolate Churros a C. I think it's a bit of a lower C, but it's decent enough that I think it moves up above the D category. And again, I think it worked better than the Chocolate Toast Crunch, which is in a D. So I guess it is good enough to sort of push over that line for me. And the one win I would give this over normal Cinnamon Toast Crunch is the fact that the crunch actually sort of makes sense to be in the name here. So that worked out pretty well. French Toast Crunch is also a C. It's cinnamon, French toast, and now chocolate churro of the crunches that are a C. And again, I think French toast is the best because that both has a good taste and got a good crunch, and you got those fun like little toast looking pieces. And then cinnamon below that, solid taste, but kind of becomes a mess and weird with the crunch. This one might be the weakest taste-wise of the three, but I think the churro piece worked out okay to help have it be crunchy and not sogify. So it's kind of a balancing act of those three, but I think they each have high enough scores in those categories so they all end up at a C. Just kind of how they got there was a bit different, if that makes sense. Oh, and I forgot there was also a sugar cookie toast crunch, and that got an E. So this, shocking here, this C-ranked cereal I think is better than the E-ranked sugar cookie toast crunch, which I'm only mentioning because I explicitly compared this to the other toast crunches, so couldn't leave that one out. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've picked up Cinnamon Toast Crunch Chocolate Churros, sort of a newer one in the Toast Crunch family, so maybe you haven't even seen it yet and this was a wild revelation for you. That'd be kind of fun. But if you have tried it, let me sort of know where you would put it in the Toast Crunch lineup for me, again in the middle. And I think I mentioned this before with cereals, but Cinnamon Toast Crunch Chocolate Churros, that's all C, so this was kind of destined to end up at that C rank. But if you thought it was much better or much worse than Cinnamon Toast Crunch or Chocolate Toast Crunch, be sure to let me know about your sort of strong Toast Crunch opinions in the comments. The logical next step for Toast Crunch is going to be French Toast Crunch Chocolate, because we got Cinnamon Toast Crunch Churros, Churros Chocolate, Cinnamon Toast Crunch, Chocolate Toast Crunch, French Toast Crunch, I guess also Sugar Cookie. But I feel like you're either going to have chocolate cookie or chocolate French toast. So whichever one you think is more likely to happen next, you can let me know in the comments. And also, I noticed on the back here, they don't give a name to the chocolate churro character. All the other Toast Crunch characters have had a name, so if you have an idea of what chocolate churro guy's name should be, you can share that too. But until next time, stay delicious.